Do you know most people produce 1 to 3 pints of gas and can fart between 14 to 23 times per day? And yes, this includes the ladies. And I can hear all the deniability right now, but you aren't pulling anything over my eyes. The real question is, why is farting still considered taboo, but domestic violence is considered normal? Well, couples like to call it arguing, but let's not sugarcoat anything. We haven't done that so far. Any form of aggressive behaviour is abuse. If it takes place between couples, it's domestic. So, yeah, suck on that. Most couples have no problem admitting that they fight and argue, but are very disappointed in one another when they fart. That's a bit strange. Hey, honey, do you know... Whoops, just farted. Kevin, that is disgusting. What the hell? Versus, hey, bitch, get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Make your own sandwich. If you don't get in there and make me a sandwich, woman, I will go once we're warriors on your stupid face. I swear to God. And you hear the neighbour over the back fence. Everything all right, you two? Oh, yeah, Jim, we're fine. We were just arguing. Don't panic, it's completely normal. Oh, okay. No problem. Well, you take care. Yeah, you too, Jim. Versus, oh yeah, Jim, by the way, I just farted. Oh my God, that is gross. That is not normal. You need to see a doctor. That is fucking stupid. Since when is it more taboo to smell like a dead wombat's ass for 15 seconds than it is to cunt punch your girlfriend? And I have to say, guys are the worst when it comes to our double standards in fartology. Alright? Ladies, have you ever seen a man act like a 3-year-old when he's not watching football or drunk off his ass? You know what, actually, you don't answer that, because you're just going to say yes for the fuck of it anyway. If you haven't, and realistically, most of you probably haven't, rip one in front of him and his mates. Watch the man cave suddenly turn into a cacophony of stomping and shouting about what a disgusting animal you are and how you should be put down. But I'm all for equality, and ladies, you are far from angels in this department. Men, have you ever seen your woman act like the second biggest Karen on the planet? Because remember, Australia is the biggest Karen, so that title is already taken. But still, the second biggest Karen on the planet is about as much fun as getting your cock and balls stuck in a wood chipper. When you fart in front of your woman, I bet 90% of the time she turns as red as Hellboy and starts to talk about child support and how she's going to get the house. That, gentlemen, that is when it is time to cut your losses. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. But make sure she isn't just on her period before you dump her, because you can't lose the dishwasher before you check if it's broken. Oh, come on, that was funny and I don't want to hear it. Seriously though, and this doesn't apply to all men and women, it certainly doesn't apply to any of those other fake genders because they aren't real. I'm sure there are couples who are completely comfortable farting around each other, and so you should be. But I am not making anything up when I tell you that I have known guys who have threatened their woman with a breakup just because she had the audacity to be human and fart in front of him. These are the type of men I like to call a ponce. They are basically a Karen with a penis. It's a wonder they don't threaten to talk to their girlfriend's manager before they break up with her. I'm going to share right now with you 2 opposite stories that involve a farting woman. Why? Because this is what my life has come to now, alright? It's that part of the show where I've run out of ideas. If you don't like it, you can get fucked. Now, the first story takes place when I was at a club. Okay, I lied, it was a brothel, but you get what I mean. It was my friend's Bucks night, and there are about 10 of us in this waiting room where they send the girls in to greet you so you can choose whose ass is going to sit on your face. And these ladies, my God, I thought someone was going to have to call me an ambulance. They nearly killed me with their good looks and their sinful smiles, and their dresses pulled almost all the way up to their belly buttons. They were fucking hot, alright? I don't care if they had AIDS. They were hot. One of them, a beautiful young lady named Eden, medium blonde hair, gorgeous cuddly figure, a tattoo of my penis on her left breast. Anyway, she entered, and I think every single one of us wanted to kiss the living shit out of her. Side note, living shit, that's a funny turn of phrase, isn't it? Pooh is suddenly alive now. Anyway, I'm getting off track. We were all greeting her and everyone was smiling. It was a great time when suddenly a sound that was like a jackhammer fisting a bass guitar rang out in the room. Everyone just stopped. We all looked at each other. And then Eden, this beautiful, gorgeous young lady, says, "I'm sorry, guys, that was me." She was very polite about it, and she had the guts to own up to her humanness in a room full of horny as fuck men. Now, if that's not balls, I don't know what is. And do you know what happened? 7 of the 10 guys I was with left. They fucking left. These guys, who were talking about sticking their faces all the way up a girl's ass until they had shit all over them, got offended when a girl had to fart in front of them. How fucking pathetic is that? Needless to say, I am no longer friends with any of those ponces. Myself and 2 others, however, we stayed. And she was upset. She felt terrible. Those poor excuses for men made this beautiful young lady feel like she'd just committed murder with her ass. And for what? Because they can't handle the fact that women are human too? They can't handle their own brand, so therefore they have to make fun of others to feel better about themselves? I don't know. I didn't bother to ask because I don't talk to clowns. She began apologising over and over until we said, "Look, you don't have anything to apologise for. Those guys are scumbags. All right, don't worry about them." I chose a different girl that night, not because Eden farted, but just based on personal preference. However, my good mate and the Bucks man himself, he chose Eden. And by all accounts, he had a great time with her. I heard they had a farting competition and it went well. The other story involves me in an elevator with a young, attractive businesswoman. To save time, I'll tell you now, she farted, okay? And then I punched her in the face. The end. Now, I didn't punch her in the face, okay? It was a cunt punt. Okay, all right, look, I'm sorry that hurt some soft feelings out there. You know, I shouldn't be saying the nasty C word as much as I've been saying it, but, you know, look, I don't apologise. I'm being a jackass, okay? I'll tell it properly this time, I promise. I was in an elevator in Castlereagh Street in Sydney. This young, attractive businesswoman, she gets on the lift with me. She rips one, and we have about 13 floors left to go up. Yay. Anyway, I laugh out loud. She gets embarrassed and again starts apologising. I said the same thing I always do. I said, "Look, that smells like a kangaroo's rotting corpse. But it's all good. You don't have to apologise." We get off the lift. We go our separate ways. However, about an hour passes and I'm heading back to the elevator. The same woman is also heading there. So I decided that even though she assaulted me with her ass fumes about an hour earlier, I wasn't going to let her feel miserable for the rest of her day. So I had a spare can of drink on me. I paid $1.90 for it because I'm generous. And so I offered it to her. In fact, I insisted because I'm a white man who oppresses women. So I told her she's having the can of drink. And I said, "Look, you shouldn't feel bad or afraid if you have to fart. It's all good. Now, I can't assault you with my ass fumes, but you're going to take this can of Coke instead." Then I let her get on the elevator alone because fuck that. I'm not trusting her again. Now, you might be asking, "Kevin, what is the point to all this talk about farting? Do you have some kind of female farting fetish? You sicko?" The answer to that is yes, but that's not the point. The point is, why is it considered more normal for couples to divorce and fight with one another, but considered wrong to be totally human in front of each other? This isn't a question that has ever been asked in stand-up comedy before. It's a question that probably rarely gets asked. Now, I am going to drop the comedy aspect here for a minute and just talk a little philosophy. I'm a very strong advocate in equality for both genders, not equity. I want to see changes made, but I want to see those changes made where they count. not because it's convenient to agree with a false agenda that intends to shape society and social norms to fit one collective of people. Seriously, I think it's fucking stupid that couples would sooner take each other to court for custody of a child that couldn't even be alive if it wasn't for both of their equal efforts. It's stupid how couples would sooner admit that arguments and bickering are a normal part of being in love, but also will humiliate, in some cases consider leaving their spouse over something as natural as a bodily function. Those two stories I told, only one of them is true, but they both make the same point. And also, I wasn't joking about seeing and knowing men, many men who have left or have threatened to leave their woman over something as normal as a fart in bed. Now, that obviously doesn't apply to all couples, and that's great. But I shouldn't have to make a point about this subject at all. I shouldn't be able to record this and say farting is taboo, but relationship abuse is considered normal. You think about that for a second while we move on.